Hi! Would you like to improve your English writing skills by learning about parallel structure, also known as parallelism? Welcome to Jen's Jyugyou. My name is Jen, and today you're going to learn what parallel structure is and how you can use it to improve your English writing. First, I'd like you to take a look at this sentence. I love chocolate, video games, and listening to jazz. This sentence seems like a perfect sentence in English. However, it isn't, because it isn't following the rules of parallel structure. Parallel structure means that all of the words in the sentence need to be equal and evenly balanced. So after the main verb in your sentence, whatever comes after that, whether they be nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, clauses, they all have to be written in the same tense or in the same structure. So in the example, I like chocolate, video games, and listening to jazz, the sentence sounds a little bit strange to native English speakers because you have a noun, chocolate, a noun, video games, and then a verb, listening to music. This does not follow parallel structure. In order to create parallel structure, all the things need to be the same. So I could say, I like chocolate, video games, and jazz. Make them all nouns. Noun, 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 perfect. Or I could put verbs with all of them to make parallel structure. I love eating chocolate, playing video games, and listening to jazz music. Now each of the items that I'm listing all start with verbs, so they are following parallel structure. Parallel structure is very important if you want to take your English writing to the next level. Especially if you're writing English fluency tests like the IELTS test, you need to have proper parallel structure in your sentences. Parallel structure helps to make things easier for the reader. It keeps your writing clearer and more cohesive and comprehensive. Let's take a look at more sentences that are incorrect, not using parallel structure correctly, and see how we can change them to create excellent sentences using proper parallelism. Today is beautiful, warm, and there is sun. The sentence sounds like it could be great, but it isn't. Today is beautiful, warm, and there is sun. You have an adjective, and then a clause. There is sun. So to make everything perfectly the same using parallel structure, today is beautiful, warm, and sunny. He painted a picture, wrote a poem, and was singing. Can you spot what's wrong in this sentence, making it incorrectly not have parallel structure? It's the last part of the sentence. It's suddenly using past continuous instead of simply the simple past, like the rest of the verbs. He painted a picture, wrote a poem, and sang. And you could also say he sang a song, but make sure the verbs are the same. This weekend, Sarah wants to swim, hike, and to ride her bicycle. Can you spot what's wrong with this sentence? When we use parallel structure, if we're choosing to use infinitives, we either need to put to in front of the first verb only, or put to in front of every single verb. In this example, the middle verb, hike, didn't use the preposition to. So the correct sentence should be, Sarah wants to swim, hike, and ride her bicycle, keeping to only with the first verb. Or, this weekend, Sarah wants to swim, to hike, and to ride her bicycle. In that case, we made sure we put to in front of every single verb to clearly show that it is the infinitive. Tom likes watching baseball, to read comics, and drinking beer. Can you spot what's wrong in this sentence? Following parallel structure, each of the items that Tom likes need to be either gerunds, the verb plus ing, or the infinitive, the to plus base verb. You can't mix gerunds and infinitives together because it's not correct parallel structure. So, to make this sentence better, change each of the things that Tom likes into gerunds or into infinitives. Tom likes watching baseball, reading comics, and drinking beer. They are all gerunds. Or Tom likes to watch baseball, to read comics, and to drink beer. Now they've all been changed into the infinitive. She is worried, stressed, and has anxiety. In this case, we started with two adjectives. She's worried, she's stressed, and then suddenly at the end, we used a noun. This is incorrect parallel structure. You should change each of the things to adjectives so that they are all the same, or you could change each of the things to nouns so that they're all the same, but you can't mix adjectives and nouns together. So she is stressed, worried, and anxious, or she has worries, stress, and anxiety. My husband always supports me patiently, caringly, and with love. Similar to the previous example, this list of items also doesn't follow parallel structure. We have two adverbs and then a noun. You can't mix adverbs and nouns either. You need to make them all adverbs or all nouns. In this case, the easiest thing to do would be to change them all to adverbs. My husband supports me patiently, caringly, and lovingly. I could change all of the words to nouns as well. My husband supports me with patience, care, and love. Toronto is exciting, lively, and it is vibrant. Can you spot what's wrong with this sentence? We have two adjectives, and then at the end, we had a clause. We don't need those extra words. We should just list the adjectives separated by commas. So Toronto is exciting, lively, and vibrant. Don't add it is, because adding that extra little clause at the end makes incorrect parallel structure and makes you seem less fluent in English. We searched for the missing dog at the park, the forest, and behind the school. Can you spot what's wrong with parallel structure in this sentence? The thing that's wrong is here we have two prepositional phrases. We're using prepositions to introduce the idea of at the park and behind the school. But then in the middle of the sentence, we just had the forest, a noun by itself without a preposition for a prepositional clause. The best way I would change this would be, we searched for the missing dog at the park, in the forest, and behind the school. Now each element is a prepositional phrase. This next example is really difficult, so pay attention to see if you can find what is wrong using parallel structure in this sentence. Businessmen use the subway to get to work. Students use it to travel to school. And it is used by tourists to visit popular destinations. So, looking at this sentence, it is not a good sentence because it isn't following parallel structure. It is using straightforward, active voices for two parts, and then the final section of the sentence is using the passive voice, unnecessarily using the passive voice. So to create proper parallel structure, write everything in the active voice or write everything in the passive voice. Don't mix voices when you are writing. So I would change the sentence to say, businessmen use the subway to get to work, students use it to travel to school, and tourists use it to visit popular destinations. Some important tips for looking at your sentences to make sure they follow parallel structure is, especially when you are writing a list or joining two parts of your sentence together with a coordinating conjunction, check your list. Check things that are being joined with coordinating conjunctions and see if they are the same. Make sure they match. Don't mix things in your writing. Please keep these rules of parallelism in mind when you are writing your English sentences, especially on tests like IELTS. Following these tips and having proper parallel structure in your writing will take you to the next band and will take your English writing to the next level. And now it's time for Question of the Day. Today's question is, please practice writing some sentences using parallel structure in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this lesson. If you found it useful, please subscribe to Jen's Jyugyou and give this video a thumbs up. Good luck with your English studies, and I'll see you in the next lesson.